Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and today we're continuing our video series designed to educate, inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. In divorces, over the years, the courts have really turned in large measure to a process by which before any trial is even considered, they throw you into court-ordered mediation. What is court-ordered mediation? Well, the court will order that a third party, typically a lawyer either of the court's choosing, but more popularly of the choosing of both attorneys, who will act as a mediator. He's not an advocate. It's not his job to say you're right and you're wrong. It's not what a mediator does. A mediator's basic job is to settle the dispute by finding some middle ground. Maybe the parties can't agree on what to do about the house, how long we should keep the house before we sell it. Maybe they can't agree on custody, parenting time, support, property division, asset, debt division, whatever. The mediator's job basically is to separate the parties and engage in shuttle diplomacy. Find out what these folks want on the issue, bring that back to the other, find out what they want, see if there's a middle ground, make suggestions to this one, suggestions to that one. It's like a candle that we're burning at both ends with the idea that eventually we meet in the middle. That's the job of the mediator. It's the kind of thing that the courts have gone more and more to do. We do tons of mediation here in the office. As a matter of fact, if any of you have ever had the pleasure of actually being here physically, you would see that when you come into the office, right before the reception desk, conference room on one side and another conference room on the other side. Why? Because when we do these kinds of things, we have to separate the parties. This allows a mediator to, let's say, talk to the people in here, shut the door, talk to the people in there, shut the door, maintain privacy so nobody hears it, and conduct an effective mediation. We do mediations here in the office very regularly, so therefore we have that set up. Now, does a mediation always work to resolve every divorce or every custody case? There's an easy answer to that. The answer is no. It doesn't always work. Sometimes the parties simply are not ready to settle the case. Sometimes when a case is ordered into mediation too quickly, you have that problem, because in order for people to be ready to settle a case, mentally, they got to be there. They got to be sitting across the table. They have to have the headspace to be able to say, okay, I'm ready to put my sword down and move on. I'm ready to rid myself of the hurt and just go about the business of resolving this case so I can move on with my life. Now, that doesn't always happen to everybody, doesn't always happen at the same time, and sometimes if a mediator is appointed too early in the case, those mediations are not successful. The opportunity to mediate in those sessions just don't work. I will tell you this though, many times it is a fact, and it's not even realistic to think otherwise, it takes multiple sessions of mediation to get it solved. Sometimes the first one doesn't work. Court will have people meet for a second session. Sometimes you need a second session because you're in the middle and then people are out of time. But mediation, I always say, it's like pushing over a pop machine. You cannot throw it over in one shot. You got to rock it a bit, and then you can push it over. Mediation is the same way. It can't always work in one fell swoop. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, sometimes it'll take multiple efforts to do it. The point is, if the parties are of the mind to strive to try and come to a resolution, they keep pushing in that direction, ultimately it works. And I will tell you that the statistics are that between 97 and 98% of divorce cases, they don't go to trial. And that means that only 2 out of 100 aren't resolved. The other 98 are resolved typically by mediation, or by the parties and with the help of the attorneys. Therefore, this is a very, very successful program, which is why the courts typically order it, because they'd like the parties, however begrudgingly, to settle matters themselves than to have the judge say, you shall do this, you shall do that, especially if it's about your family. If you have any questions about that, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.